Alright, so I'm doing this video because I just want to get this off my chest, and maybe a few friends will see this and maybe they can relate. Maybe they can't. So I did my scale weigh-in this morning, 287. I'm way up in weight. And I just want to say out loud that I've never been a fan. I've never liked being overweight. I've been overweight my adult life for so long, and I started cutting away at it that one time over the last few years ago, and I don't know why I stopped whatever it is that I was doing then at that time, and I documented it here on this video. But I've never been a fan of being overweight. I've never been a fan of being the biggest dude in photos. I know that's superficial. I've not been a fan of the options that come along when you're overweight. It seems like things are just limited. It's not a big person's world, and on top of that, I'm just not the type of person to compensate. Because I know other people who are big and they have sort of like a personality that compensates for them being big. They're either loud or boisterous, comical, right? Or maybe they're very introverted and they don't feel comfortable eating in restaurants. You try to invite them out or say propose ideas for them to go try, go explore, go see something. But yet there's always an excuse or reason not to go. And I was like that too for a while before I kind of learned some new things about myself. And it's just a very limited lifestyle, especially if you're younger. And I never liked that. I'm doing more things now because I have the knowledge to do it. But when I go out to these places and I travel, I generally don't see men like me. You may see some black people, but you never really see I'll see more heavy-set white people than I see heavy-set black people. I saw a guy at this Walmart, and of course I don't know anything about him. But he moves with the absolute least amount of urgency you can. I've never waited in such long lines with this guy working his cash register. And I'm thinking to myself, life must not be easy for him. The only reason I can say that because I know what that's like. And I wasn't even as big as him. He's a big dude, so I knew he's pushing at least 400 or 500 pounds. And the sheer lack of urgency, but he may be at peace if your mind is there, but there's no sense of urgency. He just shuffles along, and it makes me reflect on myself, like, damn, have I been shuffling along? And the answer's no, but circling around, I go to these places, right? And I just don't see people who look like me in leadership. It's very rare that I do at this weight. When I look at Facebook, now I'll see big women posting all the time. But big dudes, like guys, we barely even take a picture at all. Because big dudes know, I get it. I know what the sexual market value is on this. I know. So you're not going to see me like you might have a nice whip. I don't know. Maybe it's a big dude introverted thing, but I've never liked that. I've never liked that. It's a whole different lifestyle that's going on that's not being talked about. That's not being shown, and I get it, because big guys, we don't talk about it. We don't have we don't do body positivity. We accept the reality is what it is. We don't body positive ourselves out of that. If we fat, we fat, and that's it. And some guys can pull it off. Some guys got the build that pulls it off. I don't see it. I don't see it. I've never liked it. I've never been a fan of it. And I'm supposed to be old, I guess. And that's another thing I don't like. Everybody wants, if you keep, I think that if you keep saying you're old, you will manifest being old. And I understand that life comes and life changes. But one thing I don't like, I got a close friends like, hey man, we old. I'm like, speak for yourself, man. I guess I would say I'm old too if I had 3 kids and a wife and a house I'm living in. Then I'm old, yeah. I don't even got that. There's a lot I don't got. So it's like saying you're old is almost like it's too late to go get those things. And it's like, well, damn, am I doomed to not get those things? Am I doomed to not acquire the lifestyle I want to acquire? To work for what I need to work for? Every time I look at a video on YouTube, there's a life change. Life doesn't turn perfect, but it gets better. But what I have trouble is that I don't get to see the story of those who look like me, guys who are overweight. Their struggle isn't celebrated. It's not talked about. There's tons of black women on YouTube talking about their weight loss journey and stuff like that. And I think that's good. And I think that's good for black women, and I do draw some inspiration from that. But I draw no benefit from learning how guys will treat you differently after you lost weight. I draw no benefit from that. From how guys treat you differently as a woman. I draw no benefit because I'm not a woman. So that part of it, I don't get benefits from. And then from the guy's perspective, it may be a couple handful, but that's about it. It's like a total monopoly. The clothing options. I've never liked the clothing options. On top of that, I think in 2018 is when I really started my weight loss journey. Really big with the nutrition. That was the big thing. And I wasn't even working out at the time. And that's when I was losing the weight. I was hitting that 1,500 calorie mark hard every day. And I think that's what got me started at that time was I was tired. I just ran a 5K. I ran a 5K in 47 minutes. With a flawed foot, leg, and all. Running faster than a lot of my skinnier constituents. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. That's a really good thing. I'm trying to block the sun out. That's a really good thing. And I had my buddy take a picture. I'm like, dang, man. I don't look like who I am. I don't look like who I am. I took the picture. I'm like, yeah, I did that. But that's not the race I want to finish. The race I want to finish is losing this weight. I've never liked being overweight. I'm not one of those types of dudes, the body positive. No. There's still, as much as like the internet and social media, TikTok likes to rewrite the rules of the natural world, This stuff ain't celebrated. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I get that if I'm trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder or a weightlifter. Weightlifters are big dudes. I get that in practicality. But in everyday life for me, it's not practical. And I have these issues. This is crazy.